We know that Seth Rollins has suffered another injury, causing him to relinquish the World Heavyweight Championship. Of course, we saw a couple of weeks back on Raw, he got kicked out of the division, but there was a reason for that. A Crown Jewel when he faced Cody Rhodes for the Crown Jewel Championship, Seth Rollins tried to do a diving headbutt, a coast-to-coast headbutt, but landed on his shoulder awkwardly, causing him to be injured for the next 5 to 6 months. And Seth Rollins has sustained a lot of injuries. We saw after last year's WrestleMania 40, he was out until July with a knee injury. And before that, he's had many injuries, keeping him out of course, WrestleMania 32. And now, possibly, WrestleMania 42. Seth Rollins could be missing and not be competing at WrestleMania once again in his career. He's called a visionary and revolutionary, but is he still at the top of his game, or is time up? I hope you enjoyed this video. It's going to be nice to record. Always remember, smash that subscribe button too. Double my channel, and let's get into this one. So we know Seth Rollins won the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam Night 1 in the main event early this year. Of course, CM Punk vs Gunther was the main event, but Rollins being the Money in the Bank winner back in early June, cashed in his contract to become a 2-time World Heavyweight Champion. Of course, he is still the longest reigning World Heavyweight Champion since the title was introduced back in May of 2023, which Rollins of course won the tournament to be in. But Rollins has sustained a lot of injuries over the years. We saw, when he was World Heavyweight Champion in his first reign, up to WrestleMania, he had a bad knee injury, tearing his meniscus, and also just having some dodgy stuff around him. His back was also injured throughout of 2023, which meant that he had to have him lose the title, because there was a possibility that they could have had him held the title longer and pushing nearly a year-long reign. But due to him being injured, he had to have it taken off as he had to have surgery. He was meant to have surgery back in February, as he confirmed to the audience that he would be missing one of the biggest WrestleManias of all time in WrestleMania 40 due to meniscus being torn. Rollins fought through it. He was wrestling with a torn meniscus week in, week out, defending the World Heavyweight Championship and fighting the bloodline in the whole Roman Reigns vs Cody Rhodes beef up towards WrestleMania 40. And Rollins competed twice at WrestleMania, of course, in the Night 1 main event, teaming with Rhodes to face the final boss, The Rock and Roman Reigns, and kicking off Night 2 against Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship, which, of course, he did lose. But in the space of like 13 hours, or not 13 hours actually, it was about like 20 hours, Rollins fought 2 hard, intense matches, and his body was actually just put on the line. Like, he was in a lot of bother. Rollins did return too early as well. He had the injury and everything, he had surgery, and then he came back too early, which caused him to have a couple of knee problems since returning. Of course, at Sanat's main event back in July of this year, it was a stage injury, but Rollins did have problems with his knee, keeping him out for a month as well, until start of August, which of course he won the World Heavyweight Championship, like I said. But then, obviously last month, sustained the shoulder injury, dislocating his shoulder, meaning he'll be out for the next 5 months. Rollins, again, like I said, has had a lot of injuries over his time, with WrestleMania 32. And many more WrestleManias that he has been scheduled to miss, and he's fought through pain just to be at the show. But is Seth Rollins' time up? You know, it really, really could be. I do like Seth Rollins as a wrestler, of course. Being a big Roman Reigns fan, there's times where I dislike him, to be honest, because of the hatred, of course. But I do like him as a wrestler. I think he's one of the best in-ring of all time. But just, I don't know who's actually betting him. The only person I'd say is Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is generational talent. But Seth Rollins in this era is the best in-ring wrestler right now. And he's best in-ring wrestler the last 15 years, I'd say. I think he's just puts on a show and he never has a bad match. You don't see Seth Rollins botch. That is one thing. You always see Seth Rollins at the top of his abilities, performing to the limit, to the sky's limit. And that is one thing I've always liked about Seth Rollins. He has never, always been a bum. He's been heels, but he's always still put on a show, which I love John Cena, but in his time, his matches were just boring. Where Seth Rollins, even as a heel, was putting on some class matches against faces, putting them over, or even winning. Like WrestleMania 41 earlier this year, with the triple threat, of course, with CM Punk and Roman Reigns in the main event of Night 1. He had a great match. Obviously, he turned heel in that match, but he was the MVP of that feud. And just the whole thing, of course, he had his own rivalry with CM Punk, but still had his difference as Roman Reigns. So him winning that match was the best decision, and him getting that win was big. And if Seth Rollins didn't get injured, for me, he would have been my superstar of the year for 2025. That is one thing, but yeah. So with Seth Rollins out until 2026, and him not being champion probably for a long time now, will we ever see Rollins be champion again? And will we see Rollins ever be the visionary, the revolutionary, and the face of WWE? It's a question everybody's asking. A lot of people love Seth Rollins. Some people have their opinions. But he's one of the greatest in-ring wrestlers of all time. And he's not had the best of luck. We know this. And I do feel really, really bad for the architect. So many problems over the years cost him to relinquish championships, miss the biggest and the grandest stages of them all, and him still coming back, being the top guy, winning world championships, and putting his body on the line, his back, his knee, his shoulder, his arm, just for this company, putting the company on his back and carrying while he has a dodgy back. Rollins has given up his body for WWE over the years. And all I can say to Seth Rollins is thank you. So what do you think of Seth Rollins? Is it time up, Seth Rollins? Is his game at the top over now? And is it time to drop to the mid-card, maybe, when he comes back? After he has a vision storyline with Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed, is it time to start thinking about retirement, even just only at 39 years old? It's an answer that he can only answer. So thank you for watching the video. It has been nice to record. Always remember, smash that and subscribe button to the flipping channel, and I'll see you little day faces soon. Goodbye, guys.